Expert Media Gang members here. Freedom is good, man. Freedom is good. Freedom, this is what I learned. Freedom is a realization of self. Freedom is a realization of self. I learned that by many years in isolation of the federal prison system. You ain't really free until you actually free from your thoughts. The kind of thoughts that creating bad habits. The thoughts that persuade you to do the things that you feel is not harmonious within yourself, and you know it. No one else, just you know it. So you ain't really free until it's a realization of self, man. I appreciate the homie told me to get the mic because he said he couldn't really hear me clear enough. I appreciate it, homie. My intention was to spread the message, but you're right. The message has to be clear. And I appreciate it, homie, for putting me up on the mic. Also, it ain't no coincidence, right? When I was 18, when I was a juvenile all the way till my 20 years old, I never really had this calculation inside my mind where I'd be able to recognize that nothing is coincidence. Nothing, man. So, if someone across the water or across the states, like in California, Texas, heard my message, it's not because I try to be pretty. It's not because I try to be popular. It's only because I was inspired to share my experiences. I'm not good as a narrator, you know. I'm just spitting what is real. What is real that actually happened in my life. The chaos, the problems that happened in my life. And how I'll be able to break those down and find a solution that in tunes of what is going on in today's society, so that I can travel down that path freely without being entrapped in my own thoughts and in my own fear. You know, I once heard a man say, courage is how you manage your fears. So that's why, if I would have a face-to-face with another man, I wouldn't fearful of him, because I know what I'm capable of doing with this hand. Just like he probably felt the same ways too. So there's no coincidence that you hear my message, and there's no coincidence that you ran across my channel. I was inspired to do a short video in hoping that my experiences would touch someone right now. And if it is, believe that it's not a coincidence. Because, man, it wasn't a coincidence when an OG of another Vietnamese clique put a 9mm with the infrared right on my chest, right here. My world was stopped for a split second because all I saw was the infrared. And with a bullet in his chamber, and he keep pulling the trigger, and he jammed. That is not a coincidence. And then when he pulled the barrel up, the bullet fell out of the barrels. That is not a coincidence. And then what clicked my mind that took me to action, I rushed toward him with the hand-to-hand combats that I've been trained with at a young age. Wrapped the wrist of him in one full motion with my right leg go behind his heel, and with this hand go up on his neck. Make him fall down and struggle with him on the ground. Took his strap, shot him one time. That is not a coincidence. It's not. And it's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence that I end up in a county jail with a brother who is 5 years older than me. Got charged with aggravated assaults, 4 counts, looking at 20 years to 25 years. Who shed some light and some knowledge that I never heard of before. Have transcended my mind. And it is not a coincidence that the U.S. Marshal came pick me up and charged me in the federal crimes. None of that is a coincidence. It's all in a plan. So if any one of y'all right now, if y'all never thought about the signs that are going on around y'all right now, the signs to help you be free from your current situation. I just want to be part of the solution. There's too many problems in this society. Too much chaos. So why are we putting more dramas into a chaotic society? So if you turn on YouTube, everybody's going against each other, strifing, beefing. You know what I'm saying? Talking on the internet. It is all a distraction, man. So if you watch those videos and it doesn't give you a light to get you out of darkness right now because the path that you are traveling, then all it is a distraction. And that's what they want. Distracted you as long enough so you can end up in a prison away from your family, or you end up laying on the street in a pool of blood. See, one thing I do learn, and a lot of gangbangers or even regular folks, they always mention this word, loyalty. But they never mentioning you, the abstract after that is you have to sacrifice for your loyalty. So think about it now. Are you loyal to something that you are willing to sacrifice, even your own life? I believe, because at this stage of my life, I can only be loyal to myself, to be creative, and innovative with my skill so I can benefit the man who is seeking for. That's what I'm loyal to. Nothing is more important in my life. So I got to be loyal to my life. Anybody can talk a tough game, trust me. I was in the Fed. I swam with them them beat boys. You will never win. See, the system already set up. For an example, you have the banking sector. You have the monetary system. You got a finance system. You have the labor system. You have the entrepreneur spirit. Right? You have this marketplace. But all these places require you or me to know how to navigate through that. And in order for you and I to navigate through all that and to be successful, it's knowledge. For an example, if you right now, you know, in order for you to become or to achieve your short-term goal, it's this. You got to have two things. You got to have a job and you better have a bank account. Anywhere you go, any transactions that you are made, and any dealing that you are dealing with, they always ask for your employment. And most of the transactions that you are making is through the banking system. And people might say, nah, I just want to use cash. And that's where you go wrong at. The system is there for you to leverage it. Leverage for people like us who ain't got that many cash. You see? So the two things you start looking at right now is a job and a bank account. So there's no coincidence in your own life or my life. All you have to do is sit back and calculate the signs around you. Ignore all the dramas, all the chaos, all the entertainment parts. It's there to confuse you, to distract you from your realization of self. I remember we were at war with this Vietnamese clique for a long time. So, one incident was that one of my homies had robbed some dude that affiliate with them, robbed them about probably 50 packs. So they were mad. Anyhow, make the story short, that night I went to the pool hall, and I meant to collect some money for my homeboy from him losing the boxing games. So I came out. I didn't know what was going on, but the homies already out there with five of the homies. So they were out there already got into it because of that incident that I know not about. So when I came out, I guess the other group, they're about 20 deeps. They thought that my homies called me out, right? To bring the straps out or something, but I didn't carry no strap at that time. I just went out there with one of my homies to collect the pool, not the pool, but the boxing bet. So I saw the tense atmosphere. I knew what to do then. I went straight into the bathroom, made sure my shoe all tight. You know what I'm saying? I already know what went down. So when I came back out, the homies that already out there, that got into with them already about the situation, all of a sudden, when I walked past them, I saw one beer bottle flew across, hit one of my homeboy on the head. And then I glanced, my eyes, I'm scan checks. You know what I'm saying? Check the environment real quick. Two dudes rush me. I knock one of them down to the ground. Some more coming. I'm backpedaling, you know what I'm saying? And fight with my hand, boom, 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 all the way to the sidewalk. I tripped and fell. I thought it was over, man. I thought I'm gonna get stumped. So about 5 seconds I'm coming. I managed to knock one more dude in the middle parking lot. So I knew there were too many of them. See? I used my head. So I got in between the cars that parked in the parking lot. Right? I got in between the cars and started to call them, come on in. None of them show up. After that incident, my young homie said, they already violate me, right? So they won't let it pass. So my homeboy, they went home and strap it up. You know what I'm saying? And I remember that night, one of my homeboy, he was at home with his girlfriend. And we scanning the areas. We trying to find where the dudes at. So they end up at one of the Vietnamese bar. So I called my homeboy up. I told him, I said, man, I need you to go in there and see if that's in there. And then he got up. He drew out there, man. He walked in. We were going to ambush them, right? Anyhow, he come in there, and he come back out and said, yeah, that's in there. So the homie went in there with mask up. But when they went to the door, the gun jammed. So they're gone. So the people inside saw that. They rush out. About 20 of them rush out. And somebody ambushed them from the corner. Emptied the whole clips. I think it hit 2 people. So the homie that went in and scanned the area for us, he got probation that time. And then he got called up. And then he got charged. Violation probation. They charged him, with all that going on, they charged him 7 years, and I think about 15 more year probation. What I'm trying to tell you guys about these stories is, at that time, the homie knows he's being loyal to the homie called. But he didn't know there's a sacrifice that's involved. So after he went in the joint, I was on the outside. Make sure his mom got money every week. Give money to his brothers. I even brought his mom to see him in the prison. That was our duty as the brothers. I'm sharing you with this is because even we took responsibility of doing what we do. But at the stage of my life right now, nothing is worth than your freedom. Nothing is worth than find self. Because yourself, your realization of self, that's what's going to help your family and your own self. Nothing is a coincidence. Nothing. I appreciate the homie with the positive feedback. The system already here. You just gotta navigate the way that needs to be navigated so you can be successful. 2 things you gotta have before you can start anything: employment and a bank account. If you looking to continue your education, like if you are working on something now, you go with your hands. There's a federal grant called Pell Grants. You can take 18-month trade school, just like I did. HVAC system. After you graduate, guarantee a job. Right now, the trades is very much needed. Don't worry about people that criticize you. They criticize you because they can't do it. They criticize you because they don't have the intelligence, the courage to do it. But you do. Don't listen to all that noises on the internet. Those noises just to distract you. They ain't gonna put food on your table, and they ain't gonna grant you that peace of mind. Until next time, homie, freedom is self-realization. And you ain't really free until you're free from within. It's never easy. Don't let no one discourage you. Know it. If you can gang bang, that's the toughest ways. You can do anything. Anything you put your mind to it. I'm not buying no change. I bought a house. And I bought a chain later. Don't listen to nobody. You need assets, not toys. Assets first, toy later. Two things, brother. Two things. Job and bank account. Until next time. Stop gang banging, man.